Hello, it's April with Possible Diet, and today I'm going to show you how to make Passionfruit Panna Cotta. Panna Cotta is kind of like a molded pudding. It's dairy based, so picture like those Jello molds made with like Cool Whip when you were a kid, but like way healthier because it's made with like whole ingredients. This is a dessert that I came upon when I was trying to make something that could be low carb but very satiating. It is high fat. It has whole cream in it. It does have a little protein because it has gelatin and whole milk lemon yogurt. But you can make this with some pretty basic ingredients, and it's just a nice change from like having a Greek yogurt for dessert. This is like an actual dessert. You can put it in a pretty mold if you like. I am actually making it in small little molds, and I like to eat this version with fresh raspberries or strawberries, which are in season right now. You can substitute for the passion fruit. Instead of a quarter cup of passion fruit puree, I'm just using frozen passion fruit that I defrosted in the microwave. You can use 3 tablespoons of any liquid you want. So some people make panna cotta with like flavored tea. If you want to make a version that's, coffee, it might be a little weird with the buttermilk. It might taste sour, but you might be into that. But the ingredients are pretty basic: an envelope of unflavored gelatin, passion fruit puree, fresh lemon juice, heavy cream. I'm using a white sugar substitute. I am using monkfruit, just the regular white granulated erythritol monkfruit sweetener, because it dissolves really easily and it has no calories. You can use smart sugar in this. It will pump up the calories. Be aware that passion fruit is not low carb. So this is kind of like a reduced carb dessert. It's not necessarily low carb, but it's a nice swap for ice cream if you want ice cream. Have something creamy and delicious instead. It has a little bit of kosher salt, vanilla extract, and actually buttermilk, which is what really makes this panna cotta. So if you have leftover buttermilk in the fridge that you have to use up, this only takes a half a cup of it, and heavy whipping cream. If you're on keto, I imagine that you have heavy whipping cream in your fridge at all times. So let's get started. I've got the passion fruit puree in a bowl with the lemon juice. I sprinkled an envelope of gelatin on top of it, and it should start to get a little bit gummy. You want to go ahead and just kind of whisk it together, let it sit for about 5 minutes, and then whisk it together. Let it sit until we're ready to stir it into our whipping cream mixture. Then I have 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. I'm heating in the stove for medium heat. I'm going to add a half a cup of my erythritol sugar substitute. And we're just going to heat this until the sugar substitute completely dissolves. And then once it starts to come up to temperature and you can feel the heat coming off of it, go ahead and add in the zest of 1 lemon chopped up. I like combining lemon with passion fruit because the flavors are very similar. Give that a stir. We're just going to heat this until the sugar dissolves. Also, this recipe does call for vanilla extract, which we're going to stir in at the end. But if you happen to have vanilla paste, add that instead right now so that the heat can kind of like release those vanilla seed flavorings. Okay, now that our sugar substitute is dissolved in our whipping cream, we're going to turn off the heat and then add in now our lilikoi and our gelatin mixture with our lemon juice is like all chunky. Get that all in there. Lilikoi has a very distinctive flavor, and I find it so refreshing, especially for summer. So this is a nice treat. I haven't tried it, but you can also try substituting like coconut cream for part of the whipping cream and see how that turns out. And then you want to add a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. And just sort of like half a pinch of salt. Ooh, this smells lovely. And then add your buttermilk. And now, finally, I use Icelandic provisions for this one. I know I'm usually a fan of Siggy's, but it was hard to find full fat, low sugar Siggy's. And Icelandic provisions actually makes it, so that's why I'm using this time around. This is lemon flavor. You can use vanilla, or like if you want to make a, you know, cherry almond panna cotta or something, feel free to try a different flavor, change it up. I like to think of the recipes on this channel as being jumping off points for recipes you want to come up with on your own. That's mostly how I found out what I like to eat that isn't going to completely undo my diet. And panna cotta is like a summer adventure. Like, I never really had a molded gelatin dessert that didn't involve Cool Whip. So when I found this recipe, I was really excited. And it makes me feel like I'm eating cheesecake without having to make a cheesecake. So once that's all stirred together, we're going to pour it through a strainer to strain out that lemon zest and any gelatin bits still hanging around. And now that you have your all ready to go strained panna cotta, you want to go ahead and either pour it into your mold that you have. If you have a gelatin mold or a silicone mold, you can use it like that. A lot of people like to serve panna cotta, you know, to share in a specific gelatin mold. I put it in little containers so that I can control my portion size. So I have some big ones and some little ones, depending on how much I want. Okay, so we're gonna put these in the fridge for 5 hours or ideally overnight. And then your panna cotta will be done. All right, our passion fruit panna cotta is all set. I wanted to show you what this looks like. You can, if you put this in a mold, you can just put it in some warm water and then unmold it, and it's beautiful. The texture is very similar to like a firm pudding cheesecake without the cream cheese, and that gelatin just does the trick. And I actually already had one of these. They're delightful. It's like a little bite of heaven. Oh, so good. It's like so light. It's like lemony and fruity, but like not too sweet. And it kind of reminds you of like vanilla pudding. I can't recommend this enough. This is delicious. Enjoy.